My name is Babu Rajendra Prasad. On the way, Mahatma Ji came across an eka, and on the request of the sub-inspector, he left the cart and took the eka. When they had gone a short distance, a policeman was seen coming on a tandem, and Mahatma Ji was taken from the eka to the tandem. The police officer who had come to the tandem was the deputy superintendent of the police. When they had gone a little further, he stopped the tandem, showed a notice to Mahatma Ji, who quietly read it, and after reaching Motihari, gave him a receipt of it. The notice was as follows: to Mr. M.K. Gandhi, at present in Motihari, whereas it has been made to appear to me from the letter of the Commissioner of the Division, copy of which is attached to this order, that your presence in any part of the district will endanger the public peace and may lead to serious disturbance, which may be accompanied by loss of life, and whereas urgency is of the utmost importance. Now, therefore, I do hereby order you to abstain from remaining in the district, which you are required to leave by the next available train. W. Oak, District Magistrate, Champaran. To the notice was annexed a copy of a letter from the Commissioner, which was as follows: to the District Magistrate of Champaran, Sir, Mr. M.K. Gandhi has come here in response to what he describes as an insistent public demand to inquire into the conditions under which Indians work on indigo plantations, and describes the help of the local administration. He came to see me this morning, and I explained that the relations between the planters and the Royals had engaged the tension of administration since the 60s, and that we were particularly concerned with the phase of the problem in Champaran now, but that it was doubtful whether the intervention of a stranger in the middle of the treatment of our case would not prove an embarrassment. I indicated the potentialities of disturbance in Champaran, asked for credentials to show an insistent public demand for his inquiry, and said that the matter would probably need reference to government. I expected that Mr. Gandhi would communicate with me again before he proceeds to Champaran, but I have been informed since our interview that his object is likely to be agitation rather than a genuine search for knowledge, and it is possible that he may proceed without further reference. I consider that there is a danger of disturbance to the public tranquility should he visit your district. I have the honor to request you to direct him by an order under Section 144 CR PC to leave it at once if he should appear. I have the honor, etc. L.F. Morshiad, Commissioner of the Tirhut Division. Mahatma Ji, immediately on his arrival at Motihari, sent the following reply to the magistrate: Sir, with reference to the order under Section 144 Criminal Procedure Code just served upon me, I beg to state that I am sorry that you felt called upon to issue it, and I am sorry too that the Commissioner of the Division has totally misinterpreted my position. Out of a sense of public responsibility, I feel it to be my duty to say that I am unable to leave the district, but if it is so pleases the authorities, I shall submit to the order by suffering the penalty of disobedience. I must emphatically repudiate the Commissioner's suggestion that my object is likely to be agitation. My desire is purely and simply for a genuine search of knowledge, and this I shall continue to satisfy so long as I am free. M.K. Gandhi. Mr. H.S. Pollock, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, and other leaders of India, as also the writers, were informed of what had happened by telegrams, and Mr. C.F. Andrews was wired to come at once. Mahatma Ji prepared a number of directions for guidance of those who were to carry on the work after him. Dharanidhar and Ram Navami Prasad, on the other hand, reached Jasaulipatti at about 3 p.m. and after recording the statements of some men, returned to Motihari and learned about the notice under Section 144 Criminal Procedure Code. Mahatma Ji gave them a copy of direction he had prepared and explained to them in detail how the work would have to be conducted after his imprisonment. He also told them that if they followed him to jail, then his mission would be successful in no time. Besides, Mahatma Ji wrote letters to his family and friends. Dear Esther, your sweet letter has followed me all the way here. I am almost at the base of the Himalayas. I am studying the condition of the people working under the indigo planters. My work is most difficult. My trust is in God. We can but work and then be careful for nothing. Pray, do not worry about Miss Graham. She has been fixed up at Ooty. You may address me as Bapu if you like. It means father. In the ashram, it has become a term of endearment. I value your affection very much indeed. You may continue to use the Ahmedabad address. With love, yours sincerely, MKG. Maganlal, I've already dropped you a postcard, which you will get along with this. I wrote it immediately on receiving the order. Since they have not yet arrested me, I'm writing more in this. It is literally true that I did not stop even to wash my face. The police inspector said, you may wash your face, etc. before you send your reply. While I said to myself, I shall do so only after sending my reply. They arrested me when I was on the way to village for carrying on the inquiry. They then put me in a bullock cart and were taking me away. A senior police officer met us on the way and served the order upon me. At first, he only said, the collector wants you. I turned back, saying nothing. I have refused to leave the district. The penalty for this crime is 6 months imprisonment and a fine of ₹1,000. I am waiting for further developments. Herewith the statement of accounts up to date. Let Chaganlal make the credit and debit entries accordingly. I have given the necessary details. Prabhudas not being with me is a great comfort. This part of the country is worth seeing. I shall describe it to you when we meet. It is less hot than there. People are very poor. What a sad plight for the region where Sri Ramchandra lived, enjoyed himself and performed deeds of valor. To go to jail here under such circumstances is a great joy to me. It suggests an auspicious outcome. I wish your work goes on with double speed. Carry on with the experiment of the school. Teach the 12 or more students from Kochrab or elsewhere. Purchase land if all of you approve. If Shastri's land has sufficient water, I personally like it very much. Chaganlal may engage himself in the building work. He may take a monthly payment if he needs it. I wish he takes to his work wholeheartedly and with a great glad heart. Mulji Bhai ought to stay on in the ashram until he is quite well. I take it Panja Bhai will now be thoroughly engrossed in the ashram life. Consult Polak, Andrews or Malviya ji whenever you feel the need. Do keep writing to doctor in detail. Also, write to Mr. Kallenbach giving him all the news. His address is Dongia's Aliens Camp, number 3612, Isles of Man. Write to Mr. Winterbottom also. More I shall write if I can. I shall send copies if possible. Inform Dr. Hari Prasad and others. Blessings from Bapu. Mahatma Ji also wrote a letter to Private Secretary to Viceroy. Dear Mr. Maffei, I have come to this district to learn for myself whether there is truth in the allegation of the riots against the planters. I saw the Secretary of the Planters Association and then the Commissioner of the Division and sought their cooperation. Both politely rejected my advances and dissuaded me from my pursuit. I could not accept their advice and have been proceeding with my work. The magistrate has served upon me an order asking me to leave the district. The grounds for their order are such as I cannot subscribe to. I have therefore been reluctantly obliged to disobey the order. and tell the magistrate that I shall suffer the penalty for the breach. My motive is national service, and that too so long as it is consistent with humanitarian dictates. I understand, because my South African work was considered to be humanitarian, that I was awarded Kesari Hind Gold Medal. So long as my humanitarian motive is questioned, so long must I remain undeserving of holding the medal. I am therefore asking my people to return the medal to you, and I shall feel honored to receive it back if it is returned to me when my motive is no longer questioned. As to the question itself, so far as I have been able to examine the evidence given to me, it shows that the planters have successfully used the civil and criminal courts and illegal force to enrich themselves at the expense of riots, and that the riots are living under a reign of terror, and that their property, their persons, and their minds all are under the planters' heels. One man graphically said to me, "We belong to planters, not to the Sarkar. Thana is nowhere. The planters are everywhere. We take what they allow and we keep what they permit." I had hoped that a deeper examination would have toned down the impression formed by me. Had I been left free, I would have concluded my studies and placed the results at the disposal of the authorities. I wish that His Excellency would consider the matter serious enough to have an independent inquiry made. The local administration admit that they are sitting upon a mine so dangerous that they cannot tolerate my presence, and yet they manage to be satisfied with the slow inquiry of a settlement officer. Everything will depend on swiftness and the proper choice of members of the committee of inquiry. This is the least that the riots are entitled to. Will you please place this before the Viceroy and ask him for his forgiveness for sending such a long letter in the midst of many imperative calls upon his time. The urgency of the matter is the sole excuse for this letter. I am, etc. M.K. Gandhi. Mahatma Ji also prepared a list of instructions for the workers. Number 3. Evidence should be taken even where the parties decline to sign. Reason for refusal should be noted. Number 4. Evidence of pleaders who had anything to do with the case of the riots should be requested, and it should be after the pattern suggested for Gorakh Babu. For this evidence, as many workers as would come forward should be taken. It is to be wished that many workers who would come forward would not be deterred from pursuing their inquiry, even though they may receive notice of removal. They should quietly go to gaol if they are summoned and tried for disobedience. I suggest that no defense be offered. The riots should be instructed definitely not to use violence, whether regarding their own grievances or regarding imprisonment of those who may come to assist them. But they can be and should be told that where they know they are being unjustly treated, that is, required to plant indigo when they need not, rather than go to law, they should simply refuse to plant indigo, and if for so refusing they are imprisoned, they should suffer imprisonment. This requires very careful explanations, where the worker do not understand the working of this quiet resistance or do not appreciate the force of it. They may drop this point of the program. When the workers of this first class are exhausted or not found at all, second-class workers should be enlisted to collect evidence at centers where their presence is not resented. Riots may be quietly asked to come to such centers and give evidence. All documents should be collected and classified. The work ought not to take more than 6 weeks. At the end of the inquiry, the whole of the evidence, oral or documentary, should be printed for private circulation. In the first instance, if no one will print it, it should be typed. All the papers and evidence should be collected at one spot and sifted and marshalled under one man's direction. Babu Brij Kishore Prasad should take it up unless Mr. Andrews arrives and does the marshalling. Furthermore, action should be taken after consultation with the small All India Committee under Panditji or Mr. Shastri. There should be a demand for an impartial inquiry containing a number roughly equal with that of the planters' representatives of Indians representing the riots. Our representatives must be of our choice. Pending inquiry, planters should institute no civil suits for damages, etc., and an impartial person should be present at the time of distribution of wages, daily or otherwise. Workers should be paid where necessary. If funds cannot be raised locally, the Imperial Citizenship Association should be asked. Letter to H.S.L. Pollack. My dear Henry, I know you're saying well done all the time. I'm recalling the best days of South Africa, and to have them in a place where Ram and Janak lived. The people are rendering all assistance. We shall soon find our Naidus and Sorabjis and Imams. I don't know that we shall stumble upon Kachalia. I am still without the necessary summons for contempt. Evidently, they little expected the answer I have given. I sent you last night the papers to your Allahabad address. The papers ought to have gone to Bankipur last night, but they did not somehow. I am now sending you a special messenger. Please show them to Mazharul Haq too. He has telegraphed offering to come if required. I have replied saying he may come after my imprisonment. Whilst I am free, I want only volunteers who will go from village to village and hear what people have to say. From the memorandum of instructions hurriedly drawn up last night, you will observe what is wanted. 2 things may be done by the leaders there. Urgent demand of an impartial quick inquiry, a body of staunch learned volunteers, roughly about 100, who would go to different villages and live there protecting people from molestation and gathering information. If the authorities object to the volunteers, they should not take no for an answer. The volunteers should be, so far as possible, Biharis. They should be the credit. I still feel that so far as you are concerned, you need not throw yourself into the fray. I have asked Andrews to come. I want you to feel free and prepared to go to England and settle there. I cannot go into all the reasons just now. Gorakh Prasad Babu here will give you all the information during my absence. If there is no summons, I disappear in the village tomorrow and may not return for 2 days. With love, yours, Bhai. He also sent a letter for J.B. Kripalini. My dear friend, I read your affection in your eyes, in your affection, in your postures. May I be found worthy of all this deep love. Yes, I know you want to help. You shall have your choice, either to go to Ahmedabad and work there for experimental school, or come and work here even at the risk of imprisonment. All this if I am imprisoned. If you want me to choose for you, seeing that you are here, your normal place is not to quit the place until the riots have their freedom to breathe like men. For me, now Champaran is my domicile. Every day's inquiry confirms me in my opinion that the position in many respects is worse than in Fiji. There is no summons yet for contempt. Yours sincerely, M.K. Gandhi.